Hello guys, the presidential spokesperson, the spokesperson of Atiku presidential campaign during the last election has a message wey he wan send to Wike. If really Wike want to succeed, want to really do well as in the ginger, say he wan bring down buildings in FCT, he really want to work with the master plan of FCT. This man has a very important message he want to send to him for him to follow and do well in what he's planning to do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're watching my video from and the time you're gonna see this video. I remember my humble self, the icon. If you're coming across my page or my channel for the first time, I would like you to do me a favor by liking the video, like, comment, and share my videos. Follow my page and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. This presidential spokesperson of Atiku, Bwala, he said that if Wike really want to work with the master plan of FCT, listen very well. He's saying that in FCT today, almost all the government properties in FCT are not in the master plan of FCT. We are not saying that Wike should not do his work. We really need Wike as a minister because within his capacity and what he can do, he's the only person that will say something and do it. But if really he wants to work with the master plan of FCT, he should know that the Asa Rock Villa is not in the master plan of FCT. Almost all the barracks in FCT are not in the master plan of FCT. Almost all the government building in FCT are not in the master plan. So if he is ready to do his work, let him start from going to the Aso Villa and bring that Aso Villa down and put it where it's supposed to be. Not only going to individuals building and bringing them down. Just watch the video. As you're watching it, try to share it, like it, comment, and follow my page and also subscribe to my channel. You should work with the master plan and apply professionalism in what he's doing. He should start from the up to down, not from down to up. Aso Villa is not in the FCT master plan. He should bring it down first before bringing individual buildings down. We move.
About it. In fact, if you ask me, I see Wike as somebody who can do better as a minister of the Federal Republic because capacity Wike has it. And he has the potential to bring development. I think the problem is whether Wike wants to do that or not. Stemming from those things he told you about demolition. It is very interesting when they come and they say, and it is the idea is because when Rufai was made minister at the time, he went into this demolition. So each time you say minister of the FCT, the first thing that comes to the mind of the people is demolition. If FCT is not like Ministry of Works, it's an administration. There are very many important things than demolition that makes up administration of the FCT. Let us even start with the demolition. He said he wants to go back to the original master plan. If we may talk about the original master plan, let me tell you, Mr. Sheon, that the Aso Villa that seats the president, the seat of power, is not in the original master plan. It must go down. Because these were the things he was saying. If it is not in the master plan, it must go down. So Aso Villa must go down. Secondly, all the military barracks that you see within the FCT are not in the original master plan. In fact, the places where the military barracks are in the original plan, master plan, was supposed to be a bossa and a central parks for recreational facilities. Then the military barracks must go down. Thirdly, the famous Asokoro you are hearing at the extension, where all the governors in Nigeria, if not most of them, have either the liaison office or their private homes. They are not in the original plan. They must go down. There are many federal government assets and buildings in strategic places that are not in the original master plan.
Do you have the master plan?
I don't, but it is of knowledge. I mean, this thing were discussed over and over. Rufai talked about it. Certain association of town planners in the FCT sat and talked about it. If you are coming to the FCT, to me, what should come to your mind? President Tinubu is making all the effort to tell Nigerians, look, I am responsible, I asked for the job. And he told his ministers, I will not hesitate to sack you, you must do the work. He wants to say, I am coming with the idea of peace to do good. I think that what Governor Wike is saying is antithetical to what he's saying. For example, Governor Wike quoted what President Tinubu said at the NBA. I want to ride in Abuja rail. Did you hear says, I want to demolish people's building? And he talked about most of the buildings to be demolished are that of establishment and not that of the poor. Absurdity. The shanties he's talking about, the restaurants he's talking about, the parking parking garage that he's talking about. Who are the people operating there, Mr. Sheon? They are the same people that the policy of this government is trying to give life to them because they have been further thrown down into deeper poverty. Now, in advanced countries, what they do is they will come with a massive plan to create an alternative for the people, relocate them, and then demolish. You have to come with the mindset of building and not destroying. The scripture says, the dash cometh not but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. He said, but I have come so they might have life. My idea of government policy, if it is not people-oriented, if it is not with the mindset that the people should have their lives better. Mr. Sheon, you are in the FCT. The medical facilities and medical services within the FCT is awful. There's a lot to be done because the federal capital sits not only the cosmopolitan Nigeria, but it sits the embassies of foreign government within the FCT. Education in the FCT is so poor. There are no schools. People don't get value for the money within the FCT. Let's talk about transportation, Mr. Sheon. You see every part of this city in disarray. A minister who wants to work should come up with the mindset, I'm going to affect these areas. You should be thinking about transport system that will alleviate the poverty of the people. You should be talking about building mass. Do you know 62% of the estates built within the FCT are not in the original master plan? Those who live in this estate, majority of them are government workers. So if you truly want to restore original master plan, by tomorrow morning we should be seeing you demolishing the Aso Villa. Right. We should be seeing you demolishing the Barracks.
So the Aso Villa is not on the master plan?
It's not in the master plan.
Okay, let me ask you. He has said that there are a lot of people who are built on the greens, on drainages,
right,
and on the pathway of ecological cycle of the FCT.
Right.
And it says all of these things will not be tolerated. He spoke to me also about the plan to the buses, about 300 or so of them that are procured by the FCT, but they were nowhere to be found. And he has said that they must be brought out and they must work. And that in the next few months, that those buses will work. He said in the next 1 year, the rail system in Abuja will work. Does it satisfy you in any way, considering the fact that he is of the opinion that when you are out to do good, criticisms will come?
Yes, but you see, he's mixing everything, Mr. Sheon. Look at it this way. Those things that will bring good to the people are in the long term, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year. But the destruction of lives and property is in the immediate. Okay, so does this sound like somebody has good intention?
So can we wait? So those things that he has said are illegal. How do you hope that he could handle them? So this is if there are illegal erection of properties in areas where they are defacing the city based on the master plan. Abuja is a very young city.
Correct.
What would you have suggested that it does?
So this is what I would suggest, because they say the change starts with me. It's a cliche for Nigeria, and they say whatever you do, government should show leadership by force itself. It should start by them, because it's all about illegality. If Aso Villa is not built on, is not in the master plan, it is illegal. Why don't you prove to the world you mean well by destroying Aso Villa? But the reason why successive governments have not done that is because there are certain wrongs that have already been committed. They are thinking of how to redesign. When Buhari was in power, I remember that time FCDA was coming up with a proposal. The whole of that Lugbe that it goes down, all these places where you have estates, they were going to destroy them. He said, when you do that, you throw families into problem. What do? We see how we can bring alternative for the good of the people. So you mentioned the initial ones about the sewage, about these places. I agree. They have to all go down. But to show good intention and that you are not coming with a vendetta spirit, with actually a political opponent in mind. When you think of that, what are you supposed to do as a government that is people-oriented? Provide alternative.
Is your position thinking that there are possibility of a witch hunt?
No, not possibility. That is the mission. That is his mission. The core objective for his being in the FCT is to achieve three things. One, intimidate and impoverish the opponent, harass the opponent. And you will see in the comment, you see this thing we're talking will look like what I'm saying is not true. All we need is to be patient and see the coming days. And then number two, to use the instrument of the, in this Machiavelli principles, where they talk about the fox and yes, it's something about stick and the fork. To use those reward system and bring people. They are all building towards a one-party state in Nigeria. All these African countries you are seeing this problem is because most of these leaders are running practically what looks like a one-party state. And Tinubu has not told Nigeria he wants to fight Nigeria. Every day he calls me to say he wants good. So why should people appoint him? Permit me, Mr. Shewon, in 1 minute to address this issue of FCT. Because people massage his ego by making him feel like he is the governor of the FCT. He is not. A minister of the FCT is a glorified commissioner constitutionally. That is why if FCT were to be a state, FCT will carry the characteristics, functionality, and the capacity of a state. So if FCT were to be a state, Council of State meeting, the minister will be like the governor. He will attend a National Economic Council meeting. The Constitution in Schedule 1, it states the names of the states of the federation and their local government. FCT is not there. FCT has 1 senator, and FCT is larger than Bayelsa. Bayelsa is 3 senators. Even those who wanted to go to court and argue in this election that FCT is 37 states have run foul of the law. Because the law is clear, the express mention of the one is the exclusion of the other. The section 279 that says, or 290 that says for the purposes of this section, FCT will be treated as if it were a state. It's talking about administration. Even in that place, it says the president and the National Assembly are the one that administer FCT, not the minister and National Assembly. So FCT minister is a glorified commissioner. We have to put this in proper context so that he does not even, the first place he will have problem is even with Tinubu, his principal. Because right now, the way he's been carried and the way he's been lowered, as if we have 2 presidents in the FCT. And I don't have anything against it, like I said from the beginning. He has capacity among all the ministers of President Tinubu. To me, at the moment, Governor Wike has proven to be the most effective one. We have to give it to him. When we want to be objective, we have to be objective. But I said, whether he wants to do good or he wants to do the other one, is up to him. For now, what he's flying, the kite is flying, is that of terrorizing the city. Have you not looked about the child maternity within the FCT, mortality within the FCT? See the robbery because of poor transportation system. Fuel subsidy has just been removed, thereby making life excruciating and difficult for the people of the FCT.
Right. So one of the, on the final note, one of the things that he said, FCT was not captured in the palliatives that were being disbursed, the funds disbursed for the state. 5 billion are being earmarked, 2 billion disbursed already. And he said, as soon as he got into office, he went to the president to say, FCT is part of Nigeria, but FCT is not captured. And immediately the president has approved that 2 billion also should be given to the FCT. And he says in his own mind, he felt that FCT needs a proper transportation. About 70% of that will go to the FCT. As a final word from you tonight, you said he has capacity, but you think that the intentions might not be right. Yeah. But then, where do we go from here, from your own perspective?
So where we go from where is he should calm down. In life, you can achieve greatness by not fighting. Everything in life is not fighting. You see, when you are fighting, you are creating more problems. You need to, when you attain certain age, you should have good health, you should be happy, you should be peaceful with people. You can achieve that. Now, this money that are given to, so what is, Mr. John, with the greatest respect, the interview you had with him, has he given you a clearly defined agenda for transport system? He said there shall be in 9 months, everything in 9 months, but demolition now. Does it suggest somebody who comes to the people-oriented policy? Tinubu has said over and over, President Tinubu, he wants to run a people-oriented government. The danger, before you close, Mr. Shewon, is that when you are a servant of the master and you create a problem, the impact will be on your master and not yourself. Tinubu needs to do more than enough to win the heart of Nigeria. You know where we're coming from this election. Yeah. You cannot do that by terrorizing the people in the FCT.
Daniel Bwala. Interestingly, tonight I've had two very eminent sons of Borno State. Daniel Bwala is one of them. Thank you so much for talking to us tonight on the program. Reactions to Governor Wike's interview. It does look like he's not the only one that's been reacting. A lot of people are reacting. Those who are happy